Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. When there are too many entrances and exit points to a certain place, in today's house that we live in, there are how many entry points and exit points? Maximum two. Sorry, minimum two. Sorry, minimum two. At least one to get in and get out of the house. And if you use the garage, which is what happens to be the entry point and exit point for many of us, we get in through the garage and get out through the garage, right? For most of us, that also is an exit entry point. So two or more, at least two minimum. One front door, one back door, and one garage door, right? Yesterday, after we wrapped up, after every kid left this facility, that is when I realized that it is too big a space to really, check. What if there is some kid? No, I didn't give them the idea, but that idea was always there in my head whenever we have lock-ins, to check every possible space that nobody is left behind. So we had to check all the rooms, all the closet, including the space underneath. Sometimes they crawl in there to hide. And there are multiple exits. So make sure that there is one who is stationed at a critical point and other person goes around making sure that there is nobody in and out. Do you know how many exit points are there in this building? About 8 exit points just from the building. I'm not talking of the 2 gates, functionally dysfunctional gates. So the entry point is closed, but the exit is always open. How does it matter? Anybody can walk in. So functionally dysfunctional gates. But the building itself has about 8 points. So to make sure that I had 8 people standing and there are 2 running around each place, to make sure there is nobody left behind. Can you imagine the scary part if there is somebody left behind and you lock up the space and leave? That is scary. Similarly, though in the earlier shloka, it is very easily said, Shanti mapnoti naishtikim, that you will get that kind of Shanti which is not disturbed by any other externalities. But to reach there is not that easy. Why? This body has different gateways of entry-exit points. How many entry-exit points? There are 9 different spaces to enter and exit. Chandogya Upanishad says, Dasha Dware. There are 10. Were they confused? No. I'll talk about the 10th one after I explain the 9. What are these 9 gates? Can you guess what these 9 gates are? two eyes, 2 ears, mouth. Who said that? Oh, doctor. So he knows the anatomy of this body. So the exit points of excretory organs, there are two. Which is the ninth one then? No. The nose is actually two. Two nostrils, two holes, they are two. So, 2 ears, 2 eyes, two nostril ports, mouth, and two excretory organs. Of all these different entry exit points, maximum are in the head. Therefore, it is called, it's also known as Uttamanga. Uttamanga, that which has maximum points of entry and exit, making it the most vital part of this body. The CPU runs from there. The central processing unit is right there. So these portals are both entry as well as exit points. There's information comes in and information goes out as actions. Right? Through these organs of perception and action. There are 9 entry. When we want to catch that mind, how is this mind? Very slippery. We want to control it from one angle, it escapes from other angle. When your child does not want to participate or do his or her homework, have you tried leveling down with them in enforcing them to do their homework? How many different kinds of logics and methods that they would say apply to escape, wriggle out from that particular situation? At least many of the kids here growing up, I find them, at least with their homework, not that very cranky. Am I saying overstating? Because suddenly I saw people's eyes popping out. I said, no. What are you talking? Okay, I take my statement back. So you do get some resistance and they have their own techniques. If not something, they'll suddenly say, oh, my tooth is hurting. Oh, my tooth is hurting. They have to create some reason and cutely get caught because they are not very founded in their reasons. Because they want to watch something or they want to wriggle out of that particular environment. First they'll beg, they'll plead, they'll bargain. They'll do a lot of things, right? Mind is also like that. You try controlling it from one side, it escapes from the other. We want to control it with the organ of, say, the mouth. So, upvas, fasting. And that is the day that when you go to the temple, that some amazing naivedya is being offered. And you are already reveling. Your mouth is already watering. Why? Have you seen Ratatouille? So our mind is like that, suddenly starts floating with that smell. We have tried controlling through the mouth, but through the smell it is already gone. Now I think it makes a good sense as to why we light an incense stick right before offering Naivedya. You know? So that our nostrils are not distracted away by what is being offered. Because they say that when you are offering to the Lord, it is to be offered when it is not tasted by us. Now, tasting need not just be the taste with our tongue. If you have already smelt it, that is also considered as uchishta, that which is left over after being tasted. The first time I saw an American channel, Food Network, how they cook and how they make sure that everything is there in proper proportions. I still can't fathom it. It still leaves me with a stomach churning effect. Like they keep mixing everything and suddenly pick up that ladle and they lick it right from there and put it back in there. No, that though is different. Why do you think I learned my own cooking? What enforced me to become a cook? Such things. So you're trying to control it from one side, the other side, it goes off. There are 9 ports. The Gurudev, in explaining this particular shloka, he says, it is something like there are different law governing agencies, law enforcement agencies, local cops, police department, PD. Then you have your, what is the next level? CBI, not CBI here, FBI, what is the other one? CIA, NSA, any other agency? Federal Marshals, Secret Service, Black Ops. Oh, you just opened a portal. And that's right. They don't have the authority. They look all bug and hell, they don't have teeth. They can't do anything, private detectives. So you have different law, monitoring agencies. And there is this kingpin of all criminal activities. Who is that fellow who escaped? Not once, but 3 times. Chapo, the recent, hilarious. It's like a watching movie. Like he digs holes or goes through the containers, goes through the compartments. And he could become a good script writer. He scripts his own escapes. So if you want to catch somebody like that, a don, a kingpin of all criminal activities known. So first you monitor. You monitor where they constantly are interacting. What are their POI? What is POI? Point of interest. House, working place, wherever all those underground activities happen. Then sale point, or wherever, the 4 or 5 points. And then map the time, coordinate all the times, create a scheduler. Like on Monday, this time to this time, if fellow is here, that time to that, map it out. And then call in on all these agencies. Because you don't know when exactly he can, shift his schedule, but the point of interest are known. Simultaneously raid and attack. At all these points, unless it is a Hindi movie where they claim the dialogue "pakadna hi nahi, mushkil hi nahi, namumkin hai." That it is not just difficult, it is impossible to catch. Too much of a stretch. Otherwise, all these government, all these federal or local, those who are law enforcement, they all coordinate and then attack. SWAT teams thrash open the doors and knock in, and then finally grab that fellow and put him in chain. Right? Similar effort is required while working on our own mind. In the name of spirituality, to just claim that, oh, Swamiji, I have become spiritual because I have started doing fasting on Mondays. It doesn't cut it. When you do fasting on Mondays, what happens? Ayyo, Sunday? Prep work bekalwa. You have to start on Sunday. Double duty on Sunday. You normally don't eat so much, but in lieu of the Monday preparation, Sunday you stuff. And then Monday upwas. And on Tuesday, revenge. With vengeance, you come back and beat at it. Oh, whole of yesterday I have been hungry. I did not even eat anything. I was only drinking fruit juices and madhya coffee samarpayami, tea samarpayami. I may become weak, so nuts samarpayami, bananas. So you go bananas and nuts on Monday. And then on Tuesday, yesterday and all I didn't eat only. Therefore, from morning, dabake, full dose. That cannot be called as spirituality. See, in the ancient past, when they talk about upavasa, I'm just taking that as an example. It is not something that is taken up as a regular process on a weekly basis. Even if taken as a weekly process, it is only for a certain stipulated period. Like say 41 days. In those 41 days, these days I will observe upavasa. 41 days are called mandala paryanta. It's not like a year after year, week after week, every week this particular day. That is also taken for one stipulated period only. But on a regular basis, it is one common day which has been prescribed once in 15 days. What is that once in 15 days? Ekadashi. Whether you are from north or south, or those who don't agree that they are either north or south, those weird Maharashtrians, they say, no, we are not south. No, we are not north. Okay, West Indies. They are from Western India, so West Indies. Ekadashi Vrata is a common platform. But that alone cannot be called as spiritual evolution. Oh, I religiously do my Ekadashi Vrata. So, baki 14 din? The rest of the 14 days? Compensate. Or then people take up practices like, oh, I practice Mauna Vrata. Oh, that is hilarious. They become the point of poking for all the kids in the family. Even if they did not have any business with them, they'll create business with them and start because that is quite an amusement. We used to have one Chachaji, not a, we used to call him Chachaji, he was a family friend, next door neighbor. And we knew that on Mondays he was a Shiva Bhakta, so he'll do Upvasa and Maunavrata. Ore. And that is the day that most of the kids on the street would go disturb him. Chachaji, kya bole aap? Then he would pull out a paper and say, Maunavrata. One day not speaking doesn't cut it either. How many of you are doctors? How many of you have been patients? One way or the other, we all have gone through it, right? When a medicine is prescribed, say you are going through some bacterial inflammation or bacterial whatever, so you get your antibiotics. So you have a prescribed schedule for it. I cannot say that, I may forget. Therefore, the whole 21 tablets for 7-day course, pop them all open and put it all once. Yadgatva nanivartante. It's not just the problem, the one having the problem may also go away. Don't you prescribe a continuous, systematic, rigorous, timed effort? And what they're insisting there is a consistency in that repetitive pattern. That it covers through and through. Similarly, at all these sense perceptions and the organs of action, to have a certain discipline. With the eyes, with the ears, with the mouth, with the nostril, with the speech, to have a certain discipline. And that discipline should be self-invoked. At whatever age, if that discipline is invoked by somebody else for you, I'm yet to find an environment with a group of people that are eagerly ready to be disciplined. Any disciplining for any age group. I tell you, your kids growing up in this country, they don't even know the spelling of doing mischief. When I was growing up, if the kind of punishment that is given in these days were given, we would have been mocking at it. What do you call that? Make them sit in one corner? Time out. It seems to work quite effectively. If a timeout was given, that would have been the best spot for us to create the next masti. Because the kids have so much of energy, many of the parents, what do? You keep their day completely occupied. Don't you? Mondays after school, where do you take them? Swimming, Kumon, soccer. Common answer. Okay. Tuesdays. Piano, baseball, karate. Okay. Wednesday. Movie. Huh? Now, we are asking the parents' opinion, not the grandparents' opinion. Grandparents tend to pamper quite a bit. Oh, dance class. Now, whatever is your kid's experience, you take to dance. Tennis, okay, taken. Thursday, Girl Scout, Boy Scouts. Oh, come on again. Okay. I'm glad I did not grow up in this country. I would have detested my existence. Anyway, Friday. Huh? Yeah, what? A week after week we have lock in or what? Come on. So, parties? Okay, movie night. Okay, party, movie night, friends, entertainment, sleepovers. Now, Saturday, Chinmay Mission. Games. And the idea is you keep them so occupied that by the end of the day they feel completely exhausted. Tired also is a very small word. Exhausted. That while you're bringing them back from wherever you have dropped them to, they're half already asleep. And then you lift them, forklift them, literally, into their beds and then tuck them in. The mind and equipments are also to be disciplined that way. And if that discipline is not invoked by our own understanding, we will resist, we will react, we will revolt against it. Don't we? No. If that mechanical life is thrust on you, you will react against it, revolt against it. But if it is a self-invoked discipline, like I see many times when I go to the universities, that I won't say all of them, but many of the kids who have just come into this country, they have very meager resources. In one apartment where there technically two people have to stay, how many end up staying there? 6 to 8 people, 4, 5. The one is on the sofa, one is on the other sofa, one, 2, 3 in one bedroom, 3 in the other bedroom. Why? They can share the cost. If you were thrust into an environment to live with 6 to 8 people, you would revolt. But now it is your necessity, so you put that discipline on yourself. You don't react to it. Am I getting across? You would want to go out there and party like the other kids. But if you do not do that extra hours of work to make that little earning, so that when again you're working on the campus to keep it legal, so that you can pay for the other charges. But if somebody were to enforce that, you would react against it. But now it is a necessity, you understand. Born out of that understanding, when there is a discipline given, we tend to adhere to that discipline way better. So many times when we take up these disciplines as our New Year resolution, there's one kid whose answer I'll never forget. So in one of the high schools I asked, so what are your new resolutions? So he said, I have made a resolution. I know I will never break it. So what is the resolution? To increase the resolution of my TV from 720 to 1080. That's the best answer on resolution. When we do take certain resolutions to keep up good health, to keep up an exercise pattern, or whatever are your resolutions, how many days does it stay? 5 days. Not even 5 days. Oh, 1 to 2 months. Now we have to be shocked. 1 to 2 months. We do not stick to that discipline because it is not born out of clarity. If born out of clarity, if born out of understanding, you would not break it up. So to control these 9 different gateways in and out, we need to understand with certainty, with clarity, with no leeway in between, that it is my life that I'm going to take charge of. See, Bhagavan Krishna, throughout his life, he is known to be a person of highest vairagya. Like, when you go back to India, do you visit your town that you grew up in? Right? Your hometown? The town where you got educated? And the town where most of your friends have migrated to? Right? And some relatives also. Right? Bhagavan Krishna left Vrindavana. He never returned back to Vrindavana. In fact, there is an account in Bhagavatam that he met the gopis in Pushkar in Rajasthan after about 27 years. Until then, he did not go back to visit Vrindavan. He left to Mathura to Dwaraka. He did not go back to Mathura. When he leaves, there is no attachment carried forward. Such a Bhagavan Krishna, who is a Vairagya Murti, even on the battlefield, he carried his lifelong something very unique. Do you know what he carried with him all his life long? It was his constant companion, his flute. I used to wonder, before I did not understand the symbolism, I used to wonder that it is funny that you are a charioteer. You have taken the job of the most intense job on the battlefield, to be a charioteer. That too to a master archman like Arjuna. So he's a target, practice for many. And for being a charioteer to such one, on the battlefield, why do you need a flute? बीच में चलाते चलाते थक गए तो एक दो ट्यून मार लिया. That day personal iPod was not there, so he carried the instrument itself to play it around, to keep himself amused and occupied. There was a deep message in that. Do you know how many holes does the flute have? 9 holes. 1 to blow the air in, 1 where it comes out, and 7 holes. So total 9. When does music come out of that flute? हाँ, वो तो मैं भी जानता हूँ. सारे गमा पादा निसा तो मैं भी जानता हूँ. But when I keep that flute to my lips, जैसे वो, the old days there was a tripod where they would put stones and put fire. So they used to have a blower. My sound that comes out of the flute would be like that. आवाज नहीं आता उसमें से. You need expertise. With an expertise, when you start playing, if there is any hindrance in that flute, if it is not hollowed out from within, music will not come, only noise comes out. Similarly, through these organs of perception, action, mind, and intellect, if they are not emptied out and surrendered at the will of the Lord, what comes out through us as life and experience is noise. Are we ready? Are we willing to allow that Lord to function through these instruments as music, as celebration? Whatever our interaction is, whether I am a teacher, whether I am a lawyer, whether I am a law enforcer, whether I am a doctor, whatever profession that I am in, wherever my interactions are, to allow that Lord to function through me. So Kabir Das ji puts it beautifully. He says, प्रेम की गली अति सांकरी जिसमें दो न समाए. Usually when we hear the definition of love, people say that it is, all inclusive, such an expansive experience. Kabir Das ji says contrary to that. He says, no, the path of love is the narrowest. जिसमें दो न समाए. There cannot be two existing at the same time. And then he says, the second line is most beautiful. He says, जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं. That when I was there, meaning when that ego was there, then Hari was not functioning. When now this instrument has become the Lord's and the Lord is functioning through, मैं नहीं. There is no individuality anymore. It is the instrument of the Lord and His will working through. Can we bring that discipline to make our life a celebration and our expression the will of that Lord? Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi. That who is holding on to all these processes, the ego. Ego can be well defined for easy understanding. That who has created layers and layers of expectations from the world around. So once in my class, there was a smart aleck. So I was ending the class with this note that do not have expectations. So at the end of the class, he says, so Swamiji, in the evening lecture, are you expecting us to fulfill or complete the homework? Did you not just say that you're not supposed to be expecting anything? I said, when you don't bring the homework and I whack your heads with a top spin, I don't expect a reaction. The expectations are also of two types. One, that expectation which is invoked so that you are setting a bar, setting a standard for that who you are responsible for, to bring them to a newer height, a newer level of growth and understanding. That expectation for their own good can be put under the category of good expectation. But that expectation, that which we create, so that I can use their results as my trophy, my ego satisfaction, through their efforts, that sort of expectation has to be renounced. Then what functions through us, it becomes the instrument of the Lord, and as we become clearer and clearer with our self discipline and dedication, the seamlessness of the expression becomes a celebratory note of that Lord functioning through us. So, who has to do that? So, don't go back to the Lord crying, saying, Bhagwan, when will that change happen? So Bhagwan says, I have already given you the method. You apply the method and bring that change, that is your responsibility. Once you remove that block, to flow through us is His grace which is already there existing. Can you all see me? There's no trick question, simple question. Can you all see me? If I turn all the lights off, can you see me? Ha! You can feel, but you cannot see me. Because of the light bulbs or light tube lights. No, I didn't intend to that which you are laughing for. I was calling them the tube lights, not that which it is shining on. The electricity it is connected to. But for that electricity to bless us as this illumination, the little effort that we have to put is to turn the switch on. Without turning the switch on, you keep praying to the Lord, Bhagwan, ujiyara de. Give me illumination, remove the darkness, give me illumination. I have been consistently praying. Why doesn't it happen? So Bhagwan will also get frustrated. Like this fellow who daily go to the temple and say, Bhagwan, I have never ever asked you anything. Please bless me that I'll win this lottery ticket. 7 days continuously he went there asking for Bhagwan to bless. Bhagwan, it is tomorrow and it is going to be a draw, biggest draw. I need this. I am begging of you, please. Bhagwan ko tension aa gaya. Bhagwan came and slapped that fellow and said, "Pehle ticket to khareed. Go buy a ticket and then you can come and pray." Most of our prayers are like that. That we don't want to put that effort, we don't take that responsibility and expect that that grace should flow. And then question also, shouldn't that grace be beyond any qualification that it should grow, it should flow without any, block? That, he chooses some people to bless His grace with. He doesn't have, it is already there existing. It is our choice to allow that blessings to flow out or not. Did I reach across? So he says it is our responsibility. What is his responsibility? He says, I do not have any responsibility towards the world. Why? He says that in next sloka. That we will see next week. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.